Okay, we're just going to show you now how to make the salt dough that's in your packs. Okay, so you've got in your packs, you've got a mixture of some flour, which you're going to put in. Yours is all mixed together already, and some salt, that's already in there. Okay, so all you need to do is get those in a big bowl, mix it up. Okay, now to make it into the dough, all you have to do is add slowly little bits of water. So it's better to add less, and then you can see if you've got enough, because you'll soon know, because it starts to go solid into a dough when you've got enough. So start with less and then keep adding. It usually take about half a cup of water to make this amount of salt dough. Okay, and you should see it starting to form up and the lumps come in. Better with a bigger spoon, wouldn't I? Okay, you can't, like I say, you can't really go wrong. The only way you'd go wrong is if you tipped a load of water in to start off with. But even if you did that, you could just add more flour and it would still work. Okay, so when you get into this stage, you're starting to see, you can see it's starting to form a bit of a dough. You're better to start to get your hands in it, because you want to start pulling it together into a dough. It's the simplest dough you can make this. It's just literally 2 cups of flour to 1 cup of salt. So if you just keep that ratio, the 2 to 1, you can't go wrong with it. Okay, there are more complicated salt dough recipes out there as well if you want to look on the internet, but this one is pretty simple. Let's get in there. Again, this is good. Get the children doing this, okay? Get them making the dough themselves. And if your dough's too sticky, like I might have done there, just add a little bit more flour. And it's coming together. I bet you'd be better at this than me. Now, at this point, what you've got in your packs, you have got some powder paint to colour this with. Now, you can choose, you can colour it at this point by adding in the powder paint as you're making the dough, or you can wait, and when it's dried you can make up your powder paint with a bit of water and you can paint it. So you'd have to leave the salt dough to dry and then paint it afterwards. You can also colour it if you prefer. You can colour it with food colouring as you make the dough as well. That will also work. Okay, so we're nearly there. Just a tiny little bit more water into that, I think. Together, so yeah, it's took me just under a cup of water there to make that. Okay, and you can see there that you've got the dough. Okay, so if you want to see, all you have to do if you want to colour it at this point is to, again, just to add as much of the paint as you want to, and you just work that into the dough and it will colour it. Okay, again, if it goes a bit dry, you can just add a little bit more water. Okay, but as you play with it, you will get it mixing in, colouring your dough. So now we're getting there, we're getting blue dough, and blue hands as well. Right, I'm going to keep working this a bit just to get the paint all mixed in, and then we'll show you how you can make them. Gita's going to come and show you how to make it into one of the little lamp shapes. Okay, so what we've got here is the dough made, and we've also, in your packs, you've got some glitter as well. I did put on the instructions about putting some stars in, but I'm really sorry I couldn't find any stars to give you, so it is just glitter. Okay, so you can see the colour, the way we've done the powder paint, it gives it a sort of marbled effect to the dough, okay, which I quite like. If you wanted it to be a more solid colour, you need to add your powder paint in at the start of making the dough before you add the water. Okay, and or like I say, if you want to do it in 2 steps, you can leave your dough plain and then paint it once it's dried. So what Gita is now doing here is showing you how to make the shape of a Diya lamp, okay, which is the traditional lamps that are made at Dewali. Okay, so she's showing you now how to hollow it out. And these traditionally have oil in them, don't they, to like Gita?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you made them out of clay and harden them, you can actually do them with oil. Okay, with these salt dough ones, we're making them into the shape. Okay, but you can actually, we gave you some tea lights the other week, or you might have some other tea lights at home. You can put your tea light into your finished one. Okay, now these will harden just by being left out, right? Or you can bake them in the oven, but you have to bake them on quite a low temperature, about 120 degrees, and it needs to be baked for a good 2 to 3 hours on a low temperature. Okay, but like I say, they work perfectly well by being just left out to air dry, and it will take a few days for them to go completely hard. Okay, so Gita's showing you here. Is this quite a traditional design, Gita? Or is it just
it's just me only randomly made it, but you can decorate
as you like.
Yeah, I quite like this. And then you can use any colors, different colors, top of this round balls.
It looks open
nice
for you to do exactly as you like and make it your own. Okay. Like say, if you've got different colours at home, you can. If you haven't got paint, you can use food colouring to colour your dough, or even a bit of ready mixed paint just squirted in will also colour your dough fine as well. And like I say, if you've got ready mixed paint, you can always leave your dough to dry and then paint it afterwards as well. Okay, so we'll show you in a minute when we've got some finished ones.